My man,
Ben, what's up, man?
just living it up. What about you?
About the same. It's been a while. Good to see you. How many weeks? It's been a couple weeks since we did one of these, right?
It's been four, right? Aren't we trying to do them like once a
God,
month?
it's been 4 weeks.
Has it been four?
Man,
I don't know. I kind of miss our
nah, it hasn't been.
the
It's
outings.
yeah. Maybe it's been no. I think it's been 2 or 3 weeks. But either way, yeah, it's good to be back. Good to see you.
Good to see you, brother.
And so yeah, this is a good week to do it because we're just about halfway through October, so we can look at the September numbers now. And we're going to look at something a little bit different today, which is the monthly charts that we get at Keller Williams Cityside from Chartmasters that compares the most relevant data from the market. And there's a couple really good slides in there about perspective on 2022 versus 2019 and 2016, rather than just looking straight back at last year. And then you're going to talk to us about some seller concessions that work really well, right? Because we're in a time in the market now when inventory it's still lower than it was before the down, or not before the downturn, but before 2020. But uh, more homes are coming on the market and less buyers are out there. And less buyers are out there because interest rates are where right now? What are you seeing interest rates at?
Low sevens on like your cookie cutter conventional deal, 740 plus credit, 20% down. Like I think today it was like with no discount points, par 7.375.
Oh, okay, man, that's crazy. Because the last time that you and I talked about a month ago, a little less than a month ago, they were just pushing six.
And you got to think at that first part of August, we had a really good dip where we were locking people in the high fours, low fives on that same scenario.
Why did it dip then?
Recession talk. They have, it's almost feel like they have to bring it back, which the market is just not feeling it. Like last week, strong jobs report. So these rate hikes that the Fed's doing to cool inflation really isn't working. You know, they're trying to slow employment. Not happening. Last week, higher jobs report than expected. Today, CPI came out higher than expected. Inflation up another 0.5%. So I think, you know, listening to some people I listen to every day, I think that hopefully this is the last month of it. I really hope that we'll start seeing some relief because it's at the point where it's like, dang. And a lot of the increase in rates that we've seen as well just comes from global news as well, right? Bank of England, they actually stopped raising rates and they're actually going the other way right now. They feel like they went too far and they started buying. They're not going to, unwind their balance sheet like we want to do or trying to do. So, like, there's just a lot of global news that's driving the stock market, the bond market, and right now. So, but you can't ignore the data on the jobs reports, consumer price index. Um, you can't you can't ignore that we're still in a very hot market as far as an economy goes. People are still
Mhm.
hiring. You know,
Right.
I
Yep.
but I think that according to the meeting notes yesterday from the Federal Reserve, they are starting to see some of that starting to get a little tighter. So we'll see what the coming months go.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, we're hiring folks right now. We still can't find. I mean, we're finding people here and there, but we're getting a lot of no shows on these job interviews. So, um, I mean, when you say hot market like that, but I mean, that's okay. How long have the rates been in the sevens?
Probably week, 2 weeks. But the thing is, like, it'll dip one day and we'll lock a lot of people, and then they'll go back up, and we have to wait for the next dip. Like, right now, like I'm not locking anybody right now. I could be foolish, I don't know, but I'm just like, okay, let's play it cool. Let's see what's going on. And today's actually been a good day. It started off awful. Like the 10-year got well above 4, which is unheard of. Stock market 700 points in the negative when it opened this morning. Right now we're sitting at 825 points in the positive. Great. I love seeing that. So, and really in the bond market, the 10-year treasury that we pay attention to has come back down to where we started the day. So hopefully we'll start seeing a little bit of relief on that side. We're going to have to, or something's going to happen. I think, if rates stay in the 7s, unfortunately, I think home prices will start to come down.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah. And before home prices really start to come down, we're going to start seeing more homes sitting on the market longer, which will force those to come down. As far as rates being in the 7s for the last week, have you seen a slowdown in your buyers, your clients going under contract?
It depends on the price point.
Okay.
Where's
that break for you, do you think?
Truthfully, about 350.
So anything below 350? It's
not as bad. Your first time home buyer, let's say they're going to buy a $250,000 home. They're not getting hit as hard monthly payment wise as somebody buying a $700,000 home, right? Just pure math. The spread between 5.5 and 7.5. Yes, it's a couple $100 more, but they can stomach that. They can afford that, and that's where we have to say, like, do you want the home? Yes, we want the home. Can you afford the monthly payment? Yes, we can afford the monthly payment. Okay, stop renting, get the home. Okay. And then, but you also have people out there like, I'm not buying real estate right now. I'm like, okay, that's totally up to you. We're not forcing people to buy real estate right now. We just have to do our best, me and you, educate those people on this is actually a great time to buy. Me personally, I would, especially if you're going to be there for 5 to 7 years, right? Like there's less competition, right? You can get your closing costs paid for. You're not having to, go $50,000 over the list, right? Because if interest rates do drop down into the 4s, let's say, all these buyers re-enter the market, right? And we're already really don't have, and of course you'll go over the inventory numbers. I don't know where we're sitting, but like we probably still don't really have enough inventory if all these buyers come back into the market.
Right.
So personally, I would buy right now. I can get all my closing costs paid for, most likely. Let's say 90% of the time, right? I can close when I want to. Nobody's holding a gun to my head to close in 10 days. I can take my time looking at the place, digest it. I can put an offer maybe a day later. I don't know. You might even be able to write a contingent offer like, hey, I need to sell my house too. Okay, cool. This house has been sitting for 30 days. We might as well try it,
Sure. Yeah.
Why not buy right now? Oh, you know what? Maybe that listing agent or that seller is offering a 2-1 buy down, or whatever it is to increase that. Sorry, that's me.
Let me make sure I got mine on silent too.
To increase visibility to the home.
Let's talk about the 2-1 buy down, since you mentioned that, and you've talked about it in a couple of your videos. But I've got to be honest, I still haven't wrapped my brain around it completely. So
I'm a fan of it, and I am trying to educate as many people on the 2-1 buy down as possible. So if I'm a listing agent and I have a stale listing, or is that a bad word? I don't really know. Maybe a listing that hasn't moved, right?
Sure. Okay. Stale works. I'm sure. Yeah.
So she has an opportunity, she has a duty to go sit down with her clients and say, he or she has to go sit down with their clients and say, okay, here's the deal. We need to do a price reduction or price improvement, right? Like $20,000. Okay. But if I'm a listing agent, maybe we can, what else can we provide to get people to come in through the door, right?
Sure.
So if you're in the MLS, like, you know what, instead of doing a $20,000 price reduction right away, why don't we offer that $20,000 and do a 2-1 buy down for a potential buyer? What is a 2-1 buy down? Okay. So let's just use round numbers. Let's say the interest rate today on market rate for that person's profile with credit, down payment, all that fun stuff is 7%. Okay. Well, the 2-1 buy down means the first year their interest rate would be 5%. The second year, the interest rate would be 6%. Year 3 through 30, the interest rate would be the note rate of 7%.
Okay.
Okay. Which saves that buyer a ton of money, and it gradually increases their payment until they get to year 3. Okay. So they're saving a ton of money on their monthly payment through interest. More money's going towards principal, building equity quicker that way as well. Okay. But here's the kicker. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. The big thing is we're all hoping, right, that the rates improve within the 2 years where we can refinance them and get them hopefully below 5% or at 5%, so they don't even have to go to 6% or 7%. Okay. But to do the 2-1 buy down, those funds have to come from the seller. The buyer can't pay for it. The buyer cannot pay for the 2-1 buy down.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. The buyer can't pay for the 2-1 buy down. Why is that?
It's just how it just has to come from the seller. But here's another great thing about the 2-1 buy down. Let's say at the end of 2023, let's say you can refinance and save money. Whatever money is left in that 2-1 buy down account at the servicer, you actually get back. So let's say it's a $500,000 loan amount, and there was $11,000. It costs $11,000 to do the 2-1 buy down. Okay, that's a rough estimate on a $500,000 loan amount. Is, let's say it costs the seller $11,000 to do that for that buyer. Okay, but you only use 6,000 of it. That means there's 5,000 left in that account that you actually get back when you refinance. So you don't lose that. So it's a win-win. And if you look at the numbers and you're payment conscious, it's more beneficial for you to do the 2-1 buy down versus reducing the price $20,000. Because you got to think the mortgage is spread out over 360 months, right? So $20,000, divide that by 360, that's $55 a month different in payment if you just did a price reduction. Okay. So that's where I love it, and I'm spreading the word on it, because I think that if you have a listing sitting around and you're not calling somebody like me to give you numbers on a 2-1 buy down so you can put it in the MLS so those clients can show their buyers like, hey, look at these numbers. Like if you did a conventional mortgage at 10% down and they did a 10-1 buy down, instead of them reducing the price $20,000, they're gonna do $11,000 2-1 buy down and give you $9,000 in closing costs to equal that $20,000 you're gonna do a price reduction on.
Okay. Say that let's do a real world scenario. Let's say that I have a $700,000 listing, and I'm talking to the sellers about either reducing to 680 or doing a 2-1 buy down. Yep. How much? Where does their money play in the 2-1 buy down? How much are the funds that they have to contribute, and where do the funds come from?
So the 2-1 buy down, it's all based on loan amount, not list price.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So let's just say that $700,000 home. Let's say he was putting $100,000 down, and it's a $600,000 loan amount. Okay. not 6 million. Hold on here. 600,000. Okay. And let's say the rate's 7%. So their normal principal and interest would be $3,991 if they didn't do anything. Okay. But on, let's say they did the 2-1 buy down at 5% the first year, they're saving $770 a month.
Well, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it from the seller's perspective.
Yeah. Okay. So it would cost that seller on a $600,000 loan, it would cost the seller $13,984.76.
Okay. And where did that number come from? What percentage is that that number?
So how they figure it is they take it by the monthly payment difference between 7% and 5% times 12. So they would take $770.89 times 12 equals $9,250 for the first year. The second year
is the difference between 6 and 7.
Correct. So so the second year, the buyer would be saving $394 times 12, which is $4,734.14. That gives you $13,984.76. That's what it's costing the seller.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, cool. I'm taking notes here. I like that. Thanks, Ben.
No, I mean,
but you think that, so, the reason why I'm asking you that specifically is us agents are going to have to use this soon. Probably.
I don't know why you wouldn't use it. I mean, because unfortunately we haven't used it. We haven't had to use it since 2018, 2019, because really that's the market that we're kind of in right now, right? I would say maybe.
Yeah.
Minus the interest rate part. But offering this 2-1 buy down to move inventory and help out a buyer to get into that home.
Yeah. But let's step back a little bit. You said that the listing agent would need to talk to a lender and get the numbers for the seller, correct? I mean, I can pretty much do that math, but
yeah,
I would need to probably contact you, or another agent would need to contact you and get the numbers. Let's say we're going to offer a 2-1 buy down. How much is it going to cost my client?
So I have this awesome spreadsheet that I just send them. I'm like, hey, here you go. You can plug in the numbers and it will tell you exactly what it costs for a 2-1 buy down. And there's also a 1 buy down, meaning you're only buying it down for 1 year.
Right.
So that's an option as well. So
that's cool.
To use up those.
I'm going to ask you one more. Go ahead. Sorry.
The only thing is you can't go over the seller concession limit,
which is 3%, right?
For that product. Well, it depends on the down payment. It's anywhere from 3% to unlimited for VA.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
It starts at 3%. So anywhere on conventional, it's 3% from 3% down to 9.9% down. On government, FHA is 6%, USDA 6%. VA doesn't have a cap. You just can't pay off anything more greater than 4%. So it's definitely
depends on the loan.
And I think I posted that on social media as well. On hey, here's a little refresher on what the seller can pay depending on the loan type and loan amount, or the loan to value.
So you just hope that the buyer also has an educated lender that they're working with.
That's the goal. I think that's where people somebody like me, I'm not going to brag, but somebody who can educate. I think it's going to be more important to work with lenders and real estate agents who are educators. Mm-hmm. Who are financially literate to explain how this makes sense.
Right.
Okay.
So I had one other question for you, and now, okay. So refinancing, like you said, there's no way to forecast what's going to happen with interest rates, but from what you've read and what you understand about the market and what's going on, what gives you the feeling, or what makes you think that interest rates are going to go back down sometime in the next 2 years?
I personally think it's going to be third or fourth quarter of next year.
Okay. And why is that? What do you think? Do you think because of sort of recession type things?
I think personally because of recession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's no avoiding it at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be I think it's going to be a global affair. I mean, nobody can really say how hard it's going to be. But again, if you look at all the other past recessions, real estate has done very well outside of one, which we don't like to talk about. So
right,
which was caused by housing.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, so we're like 2/3 of the way through to this.
Yeah.
Real quick.
Let's get these numbers.
Let's talk about the things that, the main thing that we came to talk about today, which is the numbers. This is the October market update. So we're going to look at the September numbers here. Let me pull this up. So this is, like I mentioned, rather than looking at market stats, the market stats on FMLS, we're going to look at this Chartmasters page that they give us. And this is all detached condo and townhomes. Chartmasters provides charts with all the data from the metro Atlanta area. And they do a really good job. So one of the things they did here on this first slide, which I think is really cool, they gave a comparison here between 2019, 2016, and 2022. And they did that because, as it says there, most experts, just like you and I, think that 2020 and 2021 are not great markets to compare to. So if you look at, things like active listings, pending sold, supply, and all that kind of stuff, this year compared to last year, the year before, it makes this market look really, really bad. But those two markets were just outliers and not a normal market. But compared to 2016 and 2019, we still currently have a lot less as far as active listings goes. You can see the 2016 column there, 14,602 active listings in the month of September. And then also in September 2019, 13,767 compared to right now where we only have 9,090. So fewer choices, more buyer competition though, as we talked about. Fewer and fewer buyer competition right now because of interest rates being at 7, but we still have less active listings. Pending listings, fewer in September than in those 2 previous years. Sold also fewer than the 2 previous years. And then months of supply. So it's creeping up. The last time we did one of these episodes, we were at 2 months even, or 2.1. We're at 2.6. So that was August. This is the September review. It's still going up, but it's still slightly lower than in 2019 and lower than 2016. Median sale price has gone up a lot. If you look at in September 2019, it just shot up through COVID. So now we're at a median sale price of $430,000, where I remember the number at my office in Smyrna, Cityside, which a lot of the transactions that come through there are, Smyrna, 30080, Vinings, those areas. And back then, the median sale price out of that office was $227,000 when I started. And so now to think that the median sale price is $430, I mean, that's really gone up a lot. Days on market has gone up quite a bit. The last time we did one of these episodes, it was, I think, 7 or 8 days median. It's at 15 now, but still, that is more than half of, or less than half of the comparison from 16 and 19 in September. Median sale to list price is at 97.6%, which is up from those 2 previous years as well. Number of price reductions is less. There's fewer price reductions now, though. After this, I'm going to show you the FMLS stuff from the last 7 days as well. Failed listings is less, and distressed sales is way lower than that 2016 number. So distressed sales, like, less bargains, less of those like dilapidated homes that you see a lot of times in, like, Southwest Atlanta and those kind of areas. All right. So the other thing here is, can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this number, new listings, the number is higher here than pending once again, which, like we've talked about in previous episodes, those closed and listing numbers used to always be higher than the new in 2020 and 2021 than the new listing number. Not anymore. That new listing number is significantly higher. And then price decreases is like through the roof. And this is just for the last 7 days. So this line right here, this sort of like dull red line, whatever color that is, 3,353 price decreases. Now, expireds is pretty low. Expired is only 253, but right there, that's a big number. And I can only go up to 7 days on this, but that's a lot of price decreases over the last 7 days.
Should have done the 2-1 buy down.
Should have, man. They should have just done that. Then they wouldn't have to say they took a price decrease.
Yeah, I'm sure their neighbors would be happy too.
I know, exactly. Yeah, keep the.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, yeah, you know what? Your neighbors would probably appreciate the 2-1 buy down as well, so you're not having to cut your house.
There's a lot of numbers in here. That first chart was really the one that I wanted to go over though. I mean, there's a lot of stuff in here about those price decreases, and anybody who wants to see this and take a look at these charts more in depth, I'm happy to send it to them. So once again, comparing 2022 right now, September 2022 to September 2021, you almost can't make the comparison just because of how crazy of a market 2020 and 2021 were. But you can see on this chart here how much those active listings have gone up and pending listings have gone down. So we've got less sales now. I mean, last year was crazy. You look at the actives versus how many went pending. That's nuts. Like that's what I was talking about on that last thing when we were looking at the FMLS is every month it was like that we were getting more pending than we were new active listings coming on the market. And then let's see if we have, supply. So months of supply in September of 2021 was at 1 month of supply. And then, median sale price was at 385. We're at 430. So prices still have gone up, but that could start to slip a little bit. Median days on market in September of 2021 was 11. We're at 21 now. So has gone up a bit. Oh, this is specifically on detached. I thought that was different. Specifically on detached. And then we should have some numbers on condos here too. But anyway, here we go. Here's the condo numbers. So median days on market for condos and townhomes is actually a little bit less. 18 days right now. Sale to list price has gone down to 99.
You think more people are moving back into the city?
I mean, that was the trend for a long time. Like you said, it's the other way around. It was moving out to the suburbs, getting a house, getting some more space. And now might be the time when, exactly, folks might be, getting back into buying the condos, getting comfortable about, being around people again. But days on market is lower. That's almost never. This is for September, right? This is just 1 month we're looking at here, but that's almost never the case, right? I mean, normally condos stay on the market longer than houses.
Yeah, it's definitely a tougher resale than a detached home for sure.
Well, there's fewer months of supply, so that's interesting. 1.8 months of supply on condos.
Dang.
Anyway, well, that's our 30 minutes, Ben.
Just like that.
Just like that. That's a lot of talking and looking at numbers.
It's
But
important.
this video goes on the YouTube channel, on the Stanley Group YouTube channel every week. Next week, I'll post it. It's the full videos on there now, the live stream recording, but I'll post an edited version. Anybody who wants those charts, email me at tylerbrownstanley@gmail.com or tylerstanley@kw.com, and I'll send those charts to you. If you're on my mailing list, you'll get some of those anyway, but I can send that stuff to you as well. So that's all I got today, man. What else you got, Ben?
Not a whole lot, man.
That's it.
Great.
All right. Well, good luck, man. I hope you get some more contracts in the next over the weekend. Get some more offers going out. I'm gonna start doing open houses again, so you'll see my live videos at the open houses too.
I might start working them with you.
Do it, man. The more the merrier.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm gonna bring the Stanley Group truck along.
Oh,
my billboard in the neighborhood.
Yeah, buy this home, move for free.
Yeah, and I mentioned it earlier, but Terminus Moving, my moving company, which handles moves for my real estate clients as well, we are hiring. If you know anybody who's looking for a foreman position, a mover position, very competitive pay, and you get to work with really awesome people. So that's
you guys are awesome.
That's my pitch. All right, man. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of your night.
You did.
Later.